All right, well, welcome everybody to the Matrix Success Network weekly call. It's great to have Brian with us. Good morning, good evening.
Hey, Craig, how you doing? It's nice to see you.
Great to speak with you. I know you're very, very busy, so it's really great to have the founder of our organization. I know you're passionate about seeing people improve. So how's your day been so far?
It's good. It's busy. We get, we coach a lot of multiple streams of income, and I, of course, have multiple streams of income. So we've been very blessed, but very busy as of late. But I'm really, really excited about what we're doing here in the Matrix, building our international sales team and the upcoming webinar, and just really excited.
Yeah, well, you're a busy person. You've got multiple priorities, multiple streams of income. Your construction company is very successful. You've got innovation going on with Network Ninjas, with your app. And, we're training people all around the world with our Thinking into Results program. And you've got all these things going on. And it's really apt, I think, to talk about how we manage our time, how we manage our productivity, how we manage our activities, manage our energy level. And the Pareto Principle, the 80-20 rule, how we apply that, particularly in your life with all the responsibilities you carry. Can you just give us a summary of that 80-20 rule and what it means to you?
Sure, and you actually said it. You hit it right on the head. It's called the Pareto Principle, and it's not a new principle. This principle has been discussed in corporate America for a long time, many decades, and it's really just the phenomena of why about 20% of an organization tends to do about 80% of the work. If you're on a construction site, you'll find that 20% of the workers are doing about 80% of the work, and then some people are just inherently, I don't want to say lazy, just less driven maybe, In a sales organization, you can always find this. About 20% will be at the top, and about 80% will be, doing about the same amount of work. So it's called the 80-20 rule for a reason. And in sales, it's even a little different. It's really the 10-80-10 rule. And we kind of get into that, where the 10% of a sales organization is really driving about 80 or 90% of all the volume. And then you have the 80% in the middle, and then the 10% at the bottom probably really shouldn't be in sales. We see this a lot, especially in corporate America. So when it applies to an individual, I guess the best way to look at it is really to analyze, and this is what we do at the Matrix, is what drives, what makes the 10% the 10%. When it's the 80-20 rule, how do the 20% think, act, and operate? This is also known as attitude, right? Our thoughts, feelings, and actions put into motion. So what we do here in the Matrix is we really take a deep dive into how those people think and operate, the Henry Fords of the world, the Thomas Edisons. And what we've done, or I shouldn't say that we've done it, but through Bob Proctor Gallagher Institute, and going back centuries, we've really boiled down the thought processes and the way these people think and act and operate. And we're able to coach the 80% to be more like the 20%, if that makes sense. So I think that's what makes our programs so successful, and the Matrix Success Network in general just really successful at what we do.
I remember Bob Proctor talking about his breakfast with Earl Nightingale and saying, how do you manage your time? And Earl chuckling.
I was going to call you out on that.
Yeah. You just can't do that, can't manage your time. You need to manage your activities and what you do in terms of prioritizing your activities. And so, with everything going on in your day, what's one system or one strategy that you have to manage your activities, number one, and then number two, your energy?
Good questions, and you hit it right on the head. It's literally impossible to manage time. It's like trying to bend reality, right? But we can manage our activities. And one tip or trick, or not even a trick, but a philosophy that I can share, it's something we actually coach in the corporate world, is, and I don't know if there's a name for it, but if you just take the 5 or 6 most important things you need to do every day. Now, this is especially important for people that have a 9-to-5 job and they're trying to build something on the side. What you want to do every morning is write down the 5 or 6 key things that are really going to help your empire or your future. Right, the high impact activities, not the laundry or the dry cleaning of the bank or even going to the 9-to-5 job, but it's more about what are the 5 or 6 key things that you need to get done that day, that are going towards building your wealth and your empire, and then taking the hardest one and putting it first, and then just following the list. Because here's the reality of it. Now, you may only get to number 1, but the idea is to stay on number 1 until it's complete. And I used to have a hard time with this, and sometimes I still do because we have all these different companies. But if we can use this methodology to really define every day, what are the 6 main things they need to do, focus on the top one, and then focus on it until it's complete, then move to number 2, what you'll find is the most important things are getting done. And numbers 4, 5, and 6 probably don't matter that much anyway, or as much. And I'll give you a good example. If you're in business for yourself and you're coming to the year-ended taxes, January 1st, well, getting your taxes done, it's not really a priority. It's on the list, but it's probably at the low end, right? But as the months and days go by, when it comes to April 15th and the taxes are due, well, that now becomes priority number 1. Does that make sense? So different things can be prioritized on different days depending on the deliverables. So we really coach and teach and train developing those 5 or 6 key things and really mastering that.
Being able to avoid and plan and avoid the tyranny of the urgent is incredibly important, particularly when you've got the side hustle going on the side. And I think for most people who are developing that side hustle and wanting to either enhance their income or exit their day-to-day job, they have some role in sales. You have to do sales. You're selling something. You're exchanging value for money. And the increased value means increased money. And that's really difficult for people who may be from other professions. And so I love what we're going to do with the webinar, 8 p.m. August the 1st, and being able to share with people from a sales perspective, how do we do that? How do we focus on the most important things, the most productive things? Just want to do a little bit of a teaser, Brian, for the webinar that's coming up. And one of the things that we want to talk about is about increasing productivity. And most people don't have a team. They're doing the side hustle by themselves. So in terms of personal productivity, you've mentioned ordering those things. What are some of the things that can derail us from getting to those most important things in terms of mindset that we need to work on?
That's a great question, Craig. And the biggest thing that can derail us is right here, right? Our phone, our email, Facebook, LinkedIn, social media, these little pinging, nagging devices with alerts and buzzers and bells and whistles. People don't realize that's the number 1 distractor of efficiency and productivity. And another thing that we teach to our clients is to learn to use the tools and not have the tools using you. And just, what I would challenge people that are watching this to really look at is notice how many times that your phone pings or dings and you look at it. Or if an email goes off, right? And we've done studies on this, and there's been other studies. What happens is when somebody is in a creative flow, let's say you're writing a PowerPoint, a sales PowerPoint, and you're really into it, and your phone lights up or dings, it'll take your attention off. Even if you don't answer it, it's too late. Your creative thought pattern has been disrupted, and it takes an average of 17 minutes to get back into the same creative state. So now multiply that times how many texts and pings and dings and emails you get during the day, right? This one thing, I don't need to give you 5 things. This one thing alone will increase somebody's efficiency. What we coach people to do is check your phone at 9 o'clock, noon, and 3 o'clock, and that's it. Your emails and your phone. So you check them when you want to check them, and then you're in that mode, and you answer your emails, right? You answer your texts. You do it deliberately, and then you write down the data or the appointments from there. But what happens with most people, and this happens with me even sometimes too, if I'm not paying attention, is that those devices just keep pulling us in all different directions.
I don't know if you've seen Jim Quick, who speaks with Mind Valley. He's a memory expert, and he talks about us giving up our sovereignty when we get up in the morning, and the first thing we do is reach for the device, and we let other people dictate our time, our day, our energy, our efforts, our focus.
That's 100% correct. And the last thing you said there was energy. Right? So if you're waking up, number 1, a lot of people wake up and they just keep hitting snooze, and then they rush out the door in a chaotic frenzy, right, in a bad vibration. What we teach people to do is to get up early. Jenny and I get up at 4 or 5 o'clock, usually 4 if it's good, and we'll mastermind in this content. We'll study, we'll get in the right vibration, and I won't check my phone for hours. I'll go to the gym, right, mentally, physically, get in the right vibration. Then I'm taking the day on. Instead of getting hit in the face of the day like most people, we prime ourselves for the day with the right vibration. We have our 6 things that we want to get done, right? And then we check our phones and our email at 9 o'clock, which is after the day's already going. So some of the things you're highlighting are the exact reasons and principles why some people stay stuck and they can't develop the side hustle, the side stream, or even their main business. And those are the exact things we teach people, the psychology of how to change and really enhance.
We've talked a lot about prioritizing the things that we must do. It's very difficult, I find, and for people to make a decision of what they won't do. You know, the stop doing list, like Jim Collins talks about in Good to Great. So how do we prioritize, and how do we make ourselves comfortable emotionally with letting go of some of those things? You know, you must have so many things that you need to say no to because they just don't align with your big, definite goals that you're pursuing. So how do you deal with that when there's that emotional investment sometimes into the activities, but they're not part of the 20% that's going to get 80% of the results for us? How do you deal with that?
That's a real good question, Craig. We have clients ask us that all the time. And I mean, we need to find balance. At the end of the day, we're not working to, to be a robot. We're not trying to live to work. We're trying to work to live. So there's got to be a balance there. And I'll always go back to the calendar. I use the iCal because it's color coded. And I actually have a color code for, family time and fun time. And you have to schedule time off as much as scheduling time on.
Right.
But what I think happens to most people is they have this in their daily flow. They wake up in a chaotic state. They go to a job or even to their own company to work, and they're not really thinking about these important things that need to get done for their future. They're just working. They're in work mode. They're not even thinking. And then they get done at whatever time they get done. They go home, they eat, and they sit in front of the TV or something, or they tinker around the yard, or they go home and mow the lawn. Right? Now, most people say, well, the lawn needs to be mowed, but I mean, if you factor in your hourly rate, you want to hire stuff like that out. I mean, that's a job for somebody else. That's somebody else's employment, and it's like a $15 or $20 an hour job. So these are the type of efficiency. I have an assistant. Not that everybody can have an assistant, but we need to start looking at some of these things. If at all possible, we coach people to hire it out or sub it out. So you free up your time to do the high impact activities. Does that make sense? I mean, I personally, if I try to look at my activities, if I can't make $1,000 an hour doing this activity, and I try to, sub it out or hire it out or delegate it out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's really good, thinking about your hourly rate and the return that you're going to get from what you spend your time on. That could be really good for people identifying those activities that they really need to invest their own time into. And while people may not be able to hire an assistant or someone to work with them to do tasks and help them get organized and be productive, there's things like Upwork and Fiverr where you can spend or allocate in a month $50, $100, $200 maybe, towards your side hustle, but moving those tasks. One of the ones is like database generation, for someone who's trying to build a side hustle and sell something, you need people to approach. And so building that database takes an incredible amount of time, but you can certainly hire that out to somebody and it'll get done probably in 24 hours, which is quick for a very small amount of money, and it's done and it's efficient. It allows you to do the things that you are the very, very best at. One of those things that we've got coming up as well is, we've been talking with our wider team of consultants from Procter & Gamble Institute and Gallagher Institute, and looking at building this webinar panel of experts that we've got coming up to focus on the 80-20 rule and how it applies at the corporate level, really improving team performance and hitting goals. But more important for us is within 24 hours, we've got our Mastering the Art of Sales webinar. I'm really excited about that, coming up at 8 p.m. August the 1st. What would you really say to people right now who are watching, who are thinking about joining the webinar? What would be some of those key points you'd really want people to take away?
Yeah, no, we're really excited for that too, Craig. As you know, we do a lot of what I like to call give back webinars. We're just sharing our experiences, sharing some of our education, and some of the things that made us the number one salespeople in the whole Procter & Gallagher Institute. This webinar is really geared towards anybody in sales of any kind. And again, it's a give back webinar. We're going to be sharing content, sharing value, and anybody in real estate, it could be insurance, anybody even selling cars. Like you said this earlier, everybody's selling something. Right. If you're a store owner or a property manager, or pretty much everybody is selling something. So there'll be a little bit of something in there for everybody. I was talking with a colleague of mine, and even people in the medical profession, right, that have their own practices. They still need to be able to sell. They may not look at it the same way, but this webinar is really going to use our education and some of the universal principles and universal laws that we study, and something we call selling to paradigms. So we're going to go through some of this material and just really give a lot of value and put it out there. And the other thing, Craig, is we're also looking to expand our international team of affiliates and salespeople. So there will be an opportunity for people that want another side hustle, that want to work with us, to get some information on that as well.
Well, that's an incredible opportunity as well for people to join the team. It's fantastic. So if people want to join the Mastering the Art of Sales webinar for anyone at any level in sales, then you can see the link directly below this video. You can register. Encourage you to do that. Share the link with family and friends. Make it go as wide as possible, because we really want to add value. As you said, it's an adding value back to the community online. That's why we're doing this. So click the link below, register, and it's 8 p.m. August the 1st. Brian, anything to leave people with before we finish up?
No, Craig, I just want to thank you for your time as always, and I appreciate the value you bring to our team. And as far as the webinar goes, I would just suggest people, even if you can't make 8 p.m. Eastern, register anyway, because we'll be getting the link out to all the people that register. And again, just sharing it, and feel free to share this with anybody. It's completely free and complimentary, a give back. So we're just trying to get it out there and use the impression of increase to help some other people out. So thanks for your time, Craig. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian. You have a great day.
You as well. Take care.